Hello, lovely people. Welcome back to the Feel Good Factor. It's not Tuesday, but I'm here with a very, very special bonus episode. I was recently interviewed by Sriram Sullia of Fever 104 FM. Sriram has a series called Super Startup as a part of his show, where he interviews different startups across Bangalore. He tries to focus on unique and conscious businesses and encourages the founders, the owners of the startup to speak about their stories behind their whole venture. It's a really encouraging, very interesting series. And I love the energy Sriram has when he promotes these small businesses. Some of them are big, but most of them are really small. And giving them a platform on his show is such a thoughtful thing to do. Sriram and I had spoken about a year ago on World Vegan Day when he had asked me about veganism and carrots. And it was just a little 2-3 minutes bite that had happened on his show back then. And ever since then, I started following him on Instagram. And once in a while, I would comment on his posts or, he would reply. And we were very vaguely in touch. Recently, when I saw his Super Startup series, he had featured this very cute business where this lady makes t-shirts and the prints on the t-shirts are drawings done by children. So that's such a cool, fun, unique concept. So I'd commented on that post saying how cool this is and what a nice idea it was for him to be promoting startups. And immediately Sriram replied saying, we haven't featured a vegan business, a vegan restaurant on our series, so I would love to feature you. And that was like an awesome thing to happen. I was so excited and it felt great to go out there to his studio and be interviewed by him and experience that positive, uplifting, high energy he had while he interviewed me. And I felt like, oh my God, I have to share this interview on my podcast. All of you have to listen to the energy that he has, the energy that he puts into his show. And I've spoken about carrots, about veganism, about the journey of the restaurant and everything we do. So overall, I felt I just had to share it with all of you here on my podcast. So here we go. Listen to the interview that I had with Sriram Sullia of Fever 104 FM.
Super Startup. Good evening, this is Fever 104 FM. Hi, I'm Sriram Sullia. Say hi to Susmita. Hi, Susmita.
Hi.
That lovely voice you hear there is the co-founder, the co-owner of Carrots, the vegan restaurant. It's in Koramangala. It's India's first vegan restaurant. Congratulations. What an accolade to have. There are so many things for us to talk about. Welcome to Super Startup. This is the platform where we showcase the best of the best startups that are doing some incredible things in Namma Bengaluru city. Talk to me about carrots as a concept. We need to deep dive into veganism as well. But Susmita, let me know what Carrots as a restaurant serves.
Carrots is all about bringing delicious and a wide variety of vegan food, vegan desserts, vegan products, everything out into the world. And it's not just a restaurant. We want people to be empowered to make their own food. So we teach classes. So that people can cook vegan food, and we also serve as a community space so we can support other conscious businesses.
That's beautiful. You've been around for a while now. When did first Carrots start?
So it started in 2013. On Feb 10th this year, we turned 7 years old.
7 years old. So it's no longer a baby carrot.
No longer a baby carrot. No.
You guys have grown with the times. And of course, veganism is a fad. It's a trend that people used to hear at one point of time. But right now, there are so many people, some of the best athletes around the world. Lewis Hamilton, Virat Kohli have all taken to veganism. Let's talk about veganism as a concept. Of course, it means no animal products. And when I say animal products, no milk, no dairy as well. How would you like to define veganism, Susmita?
The term was coined in the 40s by this guy called Donald Watson. And it started with vegetarianism from the East going on to the West into the UK. And but it got kind of corrupted there. So people will say vegetarian, but fish is okay or egg is okay. Or, there was a lot of miscommunication as to what vegetarian was. So the people who wanted to do this for ethical reasons, where they did not want to exploit or use animals for their own benefit in any way, they decided, led by Donald Watson, they coined the term vegan, which is the beginning and end of vegetarian. So to make it very, very clear that it is completely plant-based, nothing from animals, nothing that comes from the exploitation of animals to the maximum extent possible.
That's beautiful. I want to get to know about how you first took to veganism. As kids, we have been told you should have eggs, you should have milk. It's good for your brains. It's good for your muscle building, protein and things like that. At one point of time, you get to make that choice of what you wish to intake to your body.
Yes.
And clean eating is something that we would all wish for. Yes. We'll get talking about that in just a little bit. Stay put. We have Susmita in the studios of Fever 104 FM. This is Super Startup. We are talking about India's first vegan restaurant, Carrots, which is in Koramangala.
Super Startup.
Fever 104 FM, Sriram, Sullia here on the radio. With me on the show is Susmita Veganosaurus. That's exactly what her Instagram handle says. She is the co-owner of Carrots, India's first vegan restaurant, which is in Koramangala. Thank you. I must say, our console is looking so beautiful today because we have so many products from Carrots, the restaurant. Susmita, what all have you got for us? Can you just quickly give us a glimpse of what all is here?
Sure. So I got you a bunch of what I love, my favorites. So we have a few cakes and then a healthy muffin. Then we have a fluffy mayonnaise.
Wow.
So that's like mayo, but of course a vegan version of it. And a herbed cheese that we make. That is a fermented probiotic cheese made of tofu and cashews.
Wow.
And then there's a cashew soy, a sweetened kulfi milk. And then there's soy buttermilk, which is a welcome drink at the restaurant. So people love that.
Beautiful.
And a couple of biscuits and some in-house baked lavash chips.
Well, when did you turn to veganism? When did you get to know about this concept and go, it's about time?
I was a vegetarian all my life. In 2002, a friend of mine had gone vegan and I was one of those horrible people to him. I used to eat cake in front of him like, oh, how can you give this up? I was a jerk non-vegan back then. But
that's
then,
basically everyone else.
Everybody. When he turned vegan, I was mean to him. But then later, it kind of, it dawned on me that, yeah, this makes sense. I found out about the cruelties in the dairy industry and what happens. As vegetarians, we think that we aren't harming the animals. But the dairy and the egg industry are a lot more harmful to the animals than the meat industry. Because in the meat industry, they are there for a year or two, they're killed. But with the dairy and eggs, they're there for years together and they are made to reproduce again and again and they're milked again and again. Yeah. So it's kind of a very sad life. And when you think about it, if something like this happened to you or people you love, you would never ever accept it. So why not take it forward and spread our compassion to a wider number of species and not just us? We are also animals. They're also animals. And it changed my life.
You've got herb-based cheese. So there are alternatives that we can use.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Talk to me about some of the alternatives that you've come up with for dairy products per se.
So we have, we've come up with a few at the restaurant, but there are so many more also available. So to put it simply, any kind of a grain or a nut or a seed can be turned into milk.
Yeah.
And yeah, a few beans like soybean can be turned into milk. So then that just opens out your variety. At the restaurant, we have almond milk, cashew milk, soy milk, coconut milk. We have milk which has almond flax, bunch of seeds. It's like a nutrition rich Nutri-milk. That's what we call it. And for curds, we have coconut curd, peanut curd, soy curd, 3 that we make. And then all these cheeses and our cashew mozzarella and then this herb cheese.
Susmita Veganosaurus, Carrots is the restaurant. It's India's first vegan restaurant. Super Startup. Come back for more.
Super Startup.
Hi, good evening. It's Sriram, Sullia. For those of you tuning in for the very first time, this is Super Startup. This is where we let an amazing startup take all the spotlight. There are so many startups doing some incredible things. Say hello to the co-founder of India's first vegan restaurant that's here, treasured in Namma Bengaluru city. It's in Koramangala, very close to the Sony World Junction. It's called Carrots. It's India's first vegan restaurant. We have the co-founder. We have Susmita Veganosaurus in the studio with me. I call her Susmita Veganosaurus because that's her Insta handle. And you put out these amazing dishes every single time. When I take a look at your feed, it blows my mind that, my God, all of this coming out of a vegan restaurant. You have so many substitutes for dairy products. Apart from that, you're constantly innovating. Summer season comes, I see some mango specialities. You have so many varieties, but what would you say are must-tries if one visits Carrots?
So our most popular dessert, I'll start with dessert because that's what I love, is the OCD. It's called the Obsessive Chocolative Disorder. It's a whole wheat chocolate brownie with our in-house made coconut and soy based chocolate ice cream with chocolate sauce, lots of nuts. So that is something, if you're a chocolate lover, you must try it. And then we have a tiramisu, which is a coffee flavored dessert. Again, that's also coconut and soy based. In the food, we have something called the aubergine mushroom platter. So a lot of our dishes, we do have some traditional dishes, like say pasta or Indian, things like that. But a lot of our dishes are fusion. Our most popular dishes are our fusion dishes. So the aubergine mushroom platter is a creamy, it's layers of brinjal. In between them, we've put mushroom and a creamy sauce, and that's served with brown rice and vegetables. For people who want junk food, then our sloppy Joe burger is really popular. We use, again, we make seitan in-house, which is a mock meat. So we use that in the burger. And of course, our pizzas are a huge hit these days, especially with the mozzarella cheese.
Talk to me about the challenges that you faced when you first started out Carrots. Is it a lot to do with education? Is it a lot to do with explaining to people what they are doing at a vegan restaurant and how they can go about ordering?
The challenges were a lot higher back when we started. We were way ahead of the curve. Not many people knew what vegan was. Very, very few people knew what it was. So only the vegans or people who would like to eat healthy food would come to the restaurant back then. But in the past 3 years or so, I've seen a huge shift in the way consumers are thinking. People want to go out and eat healthy. People hear the word vegan and they're curious. Initially, it used to be vegans had to drag their friends and family and bring them to the restaurant. Now the non-vegan people want to come because they're reading the reviews about us, they're reading about the food, like you said, looking at the pictures, and they're realizing that, oh, you can get so much variety. I want to try it. The curiosity.
When we come back, I want to talk to you about the road ahead for Carrots. We'll get talking about all of that. Stay tuned. This is Fever 104 FM Super Startup with India's first vegan restaurant, Carrots.
Super Startup.
We're almost about to wrap this baby up. Hi, good evening. Superhero show with Sriram, Sullia. This is Super Startup. We have India's first vegan restaurant, Carrots, being featured on Super Startup today. One of the co-founders, the co-owners, Susmita Veganosaurus, is here. What is your full name, Susmita?
It's Susmita Subbaraju.
But everyone calls you as Susmita Veganosaurus. That's your Insta handle as well.
Not just Insta. I have a blog called Veganosaurus where I used to post recipes, just back when I had initially turned vegan. So the Veganosaurus name has been associated with me for a very, very long time.
If you've never tried vegan food, just walk in. Trust me, you'd be surprised. Some people have lots of misconceptions. Some people have their own perceptions about what vegan food is. Just to define it once again for everyone, this does not involve any harm to animals. When I say harm to animals, not even milking of animals, let alone eating it. It's a complete plant-based restaurant.
Yeah, so no honey either.
No honey either.
You know how many miles a bee has to travel to get one spoon of honey? Like, just look that up and you'd be surprised.
Wow. No honey either. And what about any attention to detail that you guys take care of, because you have to live up to being India's first vegan restaurant?
Yeah, so we are an ethical vegan restaurant. So we we didn't do this for health benefits, except that's just a bonus. So we make sure that there is no silk, leather, wool, nothing is used in our decor. Our plates don't have any, whatever we serve in does not have any bone china. So that does mean we have to compromise a little on the beauty of the plates, but we make sure that there is absolutely no animal product to the maximum extent possible. We really, really make sure of this.
One advice you'd like to give to a lot of entrepreneurs who are listening to this?
I believe that when we find something that we are passionate about, something conscious, and focus more on what we're giving back to the world, making this a better place, because we need more of that in today's world, more conscious businesses, more peace, more love, spreading that. Focusing on that and working towards that, it really has a ripple effect. And then whatever profits are supposed to come, it'll come.
Carrots, the restaurant in Koramangala. Thank you for spending time with us. This cake that you've got for us and so many other items just looks too good to pass. So let's dive straight in. I've put up a picture of Susmita and I on my Instagram. You can take a look at it. There's a link to Carrots, the restaurant as well. Go try it out and let me know how you liked it. India's first vegan restaurant. Thanks, Susmita.
Thank you.
Well, that was my interview with Sriram. I hope you all enjoyed it. And I hope you got to learn some things about veganism, about carrots, about being in a startup community. Check out my show notes if you'd like to follow Sriram. I've shared his Instagram handle there. You can find out about more of the fun new upcoming businesses and startups in Bangalore through his Super Startup series. And also, he has lots of other really fun stories and posts on his profile. Thank you so much for listening to this bonus episode of the Feel Good Factor. I'll talk to you soon again on Tuesday. Bye.